Summer is upon us and the kids are gonna be home more, so I am throwing together some super cheap snacks. If you have some little snack minions that are eating you out of house and home, or some big snack minions, then today's video is for you. We're starting out with one of the easiest snacks ever. It does not require any cooking or baking. It only has 3 ingredients. I make these a lot around the holidays and then again in the summer because they're so super easy and cheap. These are ranch seasoned oyster crackers, and you just need 2 packages of oyster crackers. These are 9-ounce packages. They're only $1.24 at my Walmart. 1 cup of vegetable oil and 1 package of ranch seasoning. I like to sift my crackers or cereals when I'm working with them for mixes to get all the crumbs out so that they don't soak up all of the seasoning and the oils and stuff that we're putting into it. After that, I will pour those oyster crackers into a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, and then I will mix, the ranch seasoning with the oil, make sure that it's dissolved really well. A whisk can sometimes help with this. And then I'll just pour it over the top of the ranch crackers, seal the bag, make sure that it's coated, and give it a really good shake. I set this on the counter, and every hour or 2 when I walk by it, I'll just give them a shake. It usually takes about half a day or so for those crackers to soak up the oil and the seasoning, and then I'll just remove them to an airtight container and they'll be ready to eat. Future Mindy popping in here to say that I use just a little bit too much oil in this recipe. So either cut the oil back to about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of a cup, or add an additional bag of the oyster crackers. Or what I did was just add about 4 cups of plain Cheerios, since they're about the same size, and I had those left over from another recipe that you're gonna see later on in the video. Nothing like a little bit of mom troubleshooting, am I right? Still tasty. The Alabama firecrackers that you make from saltines, which are usually very inexpensive when you're buying them in a store brand, and just a few pantry ingredients and seasonings. These are especially good if you have somebody who likes a little bit of kick, a little bit of spiciness. I've mentioned this so many times, but we're huge fans of microwave popcorn in this house. The silicone popcorn maker that I invested in several years back for under 20 bucks has been a fantastic investment because popcorn kernels are super cheap, and then you can use seasonings that you have on hand to flavor your popcorn. And don't forget, as we're coming into summer, that there are lots of recipes out there for snack mixes that utilize your crock pot. So if you want to make something like Chex Mix, you can actually use your slow cooker to make that and not have to fire up your oven for a couple of hours and heat up your house. All in all, the cost of these ingredients today in May of 2024 when I'm making this video was around $3.43. For comparison, when I'm buying a box of the off-brand goldfish crackers, the penguins at Walmart or the turtles at Aldi, it costs me almost $4 for a box of about the same amount of crackers. So ounce for ounce, this is a little bit better deal, and it really doesn't take that much time. I'm not even sure what to call this next one. I think we just call it graham cracker sandwiches or gramwiches. The most basic version of this little gramwich is to take 1 sheet of graham crackers, break it in half, put a few tablespoons of the Cool Whip on the graham cracker. It helps if it's thawed just a little bit. It can't be frozen. Top it with the other half of the graham cracker, and there you have it. To dress it up a little bit, I like to take some peanut butter. We like the crunchy with this because it adds a little crunchiness. I'll put a little bit of that on one of the graham crackers, and you can take that a step further even by using the peanut butter and the Cool Whip. And then what I will do is kind of smush it down a little bit, and if I have some mini chocolate chips like this, I'll just dip the edges of the sandwich in the mini chocolate chips so that we get chocolate chips on the edge of the sandwich. Once these are all assembled, I will pop them in the freezer. They need to freeze for a couple of hours to completely set up, and then you can remove them to like a Ziploc bag to store. If I'm using 2 sleeves of graham crackers and 1 8-ounce container of whipped topping, I can make 18 of these little frozen graham cracker treats for about $2.55 right now. If I'm adding the peanut butter in, it costs me about $3.81, and then about $1 more if I'm adding the chocolate chips. That makes the cost of these sandwiches as low as 14 cents each, so I think that is a pretty economical snack. Some other options for sweet treats that are refreshing or cool that I have made here on the channel include this 4-ingredient yogurt pie that I talk about a lot in the summertime. In fact, you're gonna hear me mention it again in a video about summer favorites. Super easy, very inexpensive ingredients. Yogurt parfaits are another thing we eat a lot of around here all year long, and I like to buy plain yogurt and flavor it with a little bit of drink mix powder, the flavored drink mixes that you get to flavor water. And then I use cereal and sometimes some baking chips to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. And I end up with a much more inexpensive version, a homemade version of a Chobani Flip. And we've become pretty big fans of pudding around here. Just instant pudding, make it up using milk, and then put something crunchy in it, like maybe some graham crackers or some cookies, maybe a little bit of whipped topping, and we've got a really inexpensive dessert. We've got to get the oven firing up for my next little treat. I have made these so many times. We're gonna make some corn dog muffins, so I'm getting my oven preheating to 375. First things first, we need to mix up the muffins. I have 2 boxes of Jiffy corn muffin mix in here. This is 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You could use honey too if you wanted, that would work really well. 2 eggs and 1 cup of milk. I'm gonna give this a stir, and once it is mixed, I'm going to go ahead and put that into my little muffin tin. And I only want to fill my muffin cups up about halfway, maybe even just a little bit less, because we still have things to add to this. Actually ended up getting 21 muffins from this batch, so always good to have a few bonus muffins. And now I'm going to take my little hot dogs, and I'm just going to put a few of them in each muffin cup. These are Oscar Mayer, and they're actually little smoked sausages. You could use any kind of hot dog you want. I've used turkey dogs before. I've used smoked sausages. I've used chopped up little cocktail sausages before, whatever your preference is. I thought these looked really good. And the last little piece, just a little bit of cheddar cheese in each cup. Probably need about 1 cup of shredded cheddar for all of these. I'm gonna pop these into a 375-degree oven. I'm gonna let them bake until they're done. I'll probably check on them after about 12 minutes and then just keep checking until they're finished. I get asked about this 2 dozen muffin cup tray whenever I use it, and I don't have anything to link. I'll see if there's something like it on Amazon. My mom found that in a thrift store years ago and picked it up for me, and I love it because it fits into my oven as if it were one of the oven racks. Now these are a little heartier, more filling snacks, so I'm okay that I spent $5.85 on the ingredients to make 18 of them. It comes out to around 33 cents each, and my kids will grab these for breakfast. They'll pack them in their lunches. You can heat them up for a few seconds in the microwave, or my kids will just eat them cold. A similar concept to these would be to use crescent rolls, to buy a package of crescent rolls, cut them into little pieces, and then you can wrap the hot dogs in the crescent rolls. You can cut them into pieces so that you can make little small ones. My kids like these using cocktail sausages as well, so that's another inexpensive, more hearty filling snack option. Also, these chicken pinwheels that I've made before using shredded chicken, cream cheese, salsa. You spread it into a tortilla, roll it up, and then you slice it so that it makes little pinwheels, and store these in an airtight container in your refrigerator. My kids love these in the summertime. And can you go wrong with peanut butter and banana? I used to eat this on frozen waffles all the time, toaster waffles that you heat up. If you want to go even more inexpensive, just put it on a piece of toast. I'm telling you, it's a really filling, more like a meal than a snack. Today's video is sponsored by nuts.com, your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried fruits, sweets, pantry staples like specialty flours, coffee, and more. With their wide selection, there's something for everybody. Nuts.com is my oldest daughter's favorite sponsor, so she actually picked out everything in our Nuts.com order this month. She doesn't like to be on camera though, so we're gonna unbox it for her. We've got some freeze-dried fruit cocktail, Asiago and cheddar cheese crisps. Ooh, these look yummy. Ooh, I don't know what's in here. It says, open this pouch. Your delicious goodies are inside. Oh, it's the chocolate. It's the chocolate stuff. Chocolate covered sandwich cookies. Oh, it's because they put an ice pouch in here so that it wouldn't melt since we're getting in the warmer months. Good call. Cheese pretzels. Roasted pistachios that are salted, and actually these are the single serve pouches. She specifically asked for these so that she can take them to school, to swim practice, pack them in her lunch, that kind of thing. And then I actually got these. These are repeat purchases. The salted roasted peanuts in the shell, and then the Cajun salted roasted peanuts in the shell. We love to eat these out on the patio while we're watching baseball. Right now, Nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with a purchase plus free shipping on orders of $29 or more when you visit Nuts.com/Mindy. With Nuts.com, quality is a top priority. So they roast their nuts and pop their corn the same day that it ships, so it reaches you deliciously fresh, satisfaction guaranteed. And we have tried so many things from their huge selection on their website. We've had lots of different kinds of candy, different kinds of nuts. We've had the coffee, we've had the popcorn. Everything has been so fantastic. So go check out all the delicious options at Nuts.com/Mindy. New customers will receive a free gift plus free shipping on orders of $29 or more. That's Nuts.com/Mindy. This next recipe is new to me. I've been wanting to try it for a while. I keep coming across it. It is for a hot buttered cinnamon sugar Cheerio. In my big skillet here, I have 1 stick that is half a cup of butter melting, and I'm gonna add to this about a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. My heat is on about medium. My butter is melted. I've got my vanilla in there. This is 8 cups of Cheerio style cereal, and just like I did with the crackers before, I actually sifted this to make sure that I got all of the little crumbs and the Cheerio dust out of it. So I'm gonna stir this into the butter and vanilla mixture, and I'm gonna keep stirring it over medium heat until the Cheerios are toasted, probably about 4 or 5 minutes. My Cheerios have been toasting for a few minutes. I can actually smell the vanilla and the butter in there. I'm gonna start adding my cinnamon sugar mixture. This is 1 cup of sugar with about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You can go light or heavy on the cinnamon. We like a little more cinnamon flavor than probably the average person, so I used probably 2.5 teaspoons or so. And I'm gonna start sprinkling this in a little bit at a time and just mixing the Cheerios all around. I'm gonna turn my heat down to low. I wanna make sure these are getting fairly evenly coated, so I'm just gonna put in a little bit of the cinnamon sugar at a time, stir it, put in a little bit more. Once these are coated sufficiently, I'm gonna turn my heat off, and I'm gonna turn these out onto a piece of parchment to cool down, and they'll be ready. I mean, seriously, this little snack takes less than 10 minutes to make. Since I'm only using 8 cups, or about 2/3 of my box of cereal to make this snack, it's costing me just $2.56 for the ingredients today. Okay, these cinnamon Cheerio things, so good. And probably even less expensive than I priced them out, because I didn't even need to use all the cinnamon sugar that I made up. I probably only used about 2/3 of it. Yummy. Some other super easy and inexpensive sweet treats that I've made before on the channel include making donut holes from biscuit dough. And this is when you're gonna wanna be careful because it involves frying, but you take biscuit dough and chop it up into little pieces. You fry it in a little bit of vegetable oil on the stove, and then you roll it in cinnamon sugar, and it makes these really delicious little puffy, like pastry bites, kind of like what you would get in a donut shop. And also homemade muffins or mini muffins. If you have a muffin tin, or especially a mini muffin tin, you don't need to buy those in a package at the store. There are lots of recipes where you can start with something like a cake mix, even take a little shortcut, and you can make really inexpensive little muffins that will be much cheaper than buying them at the store. Here are a few more things that I have learned, or strategies that I use in my own home when it comes to snacks and snacking. In this video, you saw me make a bunch of snacks here in my own kitchen, but I do purchase snacks from the store. You know this if you watch my channel. And one of the things that we try to implement when it comes to the individually portioned packaged snacks is to only eat these outside of the house if we can help it. If we're here at home, we can make a yogurt parfait, we can make a peanut butter sandwich, we can consume the stuff that we've made here. We try to limit these packaged things to when we leave the house. These are the things that are getting packed in lunches, or taken to band rehearsals, or to swim practices. We are here in my incredibly messy laundry / mudroom because I am a mom just like many of you out there, and this is just real life. And we are here because of this bin right here. Not only do we try to limit the consumption of packaged snacks to when we're leaving the house, you know, packing in lunches, taking to activities, I have also, to try to encourage that over the summer, moved many of them in here, because this is where the kids come to get their bags, to get their, you know, swim bags and their basketball bags and their cleats and things. So this bin is full of those little packaged snacks. And I find that when they're in here and not in the pantry, where they are walking past the pantry most of the time or standing in the pantry several times throughout the day, that they tend to last a little bit longer and get used for the purpose that I purchased them for, which is to be consumed outside of the house. Another way that we save money on packaged snacks is to just limit the variety so that I can buy just a few different kinds of things in bulk as opposed to having lots of different options. Every now and again, when I go to Sam's, probably once every couple of months, I will ask the kids, I have 3 of them, to each pick just one thing that they want. So there are usually about 3 different options of packaged snacks in here, and I find that that helps me keep the price down if I don't have to offer, you know, 10 or 12 different options for packaged snacks. It's just 2 or 3 at a time to choose from. By the way, if you want some of my suggestions for the best deals on store-bought snacks, both in bulk and individually packaged, I made a video with lots of those suggestions, some of my favorites, a couple months back, and I will leave it linked in the description box below. Of course, we're coming into the summer months right now, and produce is going to get very inexpensive, so I'm gonna have lots of fruits and vegetables to offer as snacks as well. Things like berries, melons like cantaloupe and watermelon are gonna get pretty cheap in my area very soon. And I will also usually check the produce section to see if these veggie trays are marked down, because this is a really easy thing just to keep on hand in the refrigerator, and the kids can pull it out and snack on vegetables throughout the day. If you have older children, say upper elementary to teenagers, do you take them into the store with you? I find that I've been remiss about this. And I actually think that a lot of kids don't even realize how much stuff costs. And I don't mean this to create any kind of panic or to make them worry about money, but I do think that when they see how much we're spending on the groceries and what certain items cost in the store, they can appreciate a little bit more of the choices that we're making and why we're asking them to eat certain things while we're bringing certain things home in our grocery haul. True story, this just happened in our family last week. I had the kids with me while I was shopping, and my oldest wanted to pick out some fruit. So she came back to the cart with some grapes saying, "These look really good and they were really great price, Mom." And I said, "Fantastic, let's get them." And then when we got to the register, she was really shocked at the price they rang up for. She said, "Mom, why are those grapes over $5? It said $2 next to the grapes." And I had to explain that that was the price per pound and that we have to weigh them at checkout and pay by the pound. And she's a very bright, capable young person, but just seeing that in action, I think, gives her some appreciation for the things that we are purchasing, and it helps my kids remember that we need to be good stewards of the things that we're purchasing. Now, these are not super strict rules that we always follow in our household. In fact, I try not to set a lot of food rules in general for my family, but these are just sort of like best practices or suggestions that we try to stick to if we're trying to keep our budget under control and really be good stewards of the food that we're purchasing. A couple of weeks back, I made a community post asking you guys, what is busting your grocery budget? What are you really struggling with to keep that grocery budget under control? And this topic, snacks, was something that was echoed over and over again. And in fact, there were so many different things mentioned that I decided, instead of making one video to address them all, that I would break them out by topic. So if you want some more videos along these lines answering some of those queries from that community post, make sure that you are subscribed. Pick out one of these videos to watch next, and I'll see you soon.